I haven't. Well, I killed my boyfriend in self-defense.
On October 12, 2012, Shayna Hubers fatally shot her boyfriend, Ryan Carter, in Highland Heights, Kentucky. After the incident, she immediately called 911, claiming she had acted in self-defense. The couple, who had met through mutual friends on Facebook, had been in an on-and-off relationship for about 18 months. Describing Shayna as obsessed with Ryan would be putting it lightly. The issue was that Ryan struggled with ending the relationship, as he didn't want to hurt her feelings.
Okay. Tell me again what unit you're in. It's not showing in my computer. It's 10. Okay, you're at 12 Meadow Lane, unit number 10. Okay, hold on. What did you kill him with? A loaded gun in the house. Tell me where the gun is right now. The gun is in the house.
After their breakup, Ryan finally mustered the courage to move on from Shayna. He even arranged a date with Miss Ohio 2012, Audrey Bolte. However, on the night of the date, Shayna showed up at Ryan's door, hoping to reconcile. When her attempt to win him back failed, she fatally shot him.
Where are you? I'm standing about 10 feet from his dead body. Okay, are you sure that he is dead? He's dead, ma'am. He's completely dead. Okay, are they going to arrest me? Ma'am, I don't know what they'll do. We're going to send him out. I'm going to stay online with you, okay? I mean, I'm not a murderer, ma'am. I just killed him. What happened exactly? What happened?
Ryan had been shot 6 times, all in the face. When asked why she shot him so many times, Shayna explained, "He was twitching, and I knew he was going to die anyway. He was making strange noises, so I shot him a few more times. He was twitching so badly, and I didn't want to watch him lying there like that."
He beat me and carried me out of the house. He did. He beat me and tried to carry me out of the house, and I came back in to get my things, and he was right in front of me, and he reached down and grabbed the gun, and I grabbed it out of his hand and pulled the trigger. Okay. All right. Do you need an ambulance? Have you been injured? I'm not injured, ma'am. I was thrown into the side of the couch.
Prosecutors argue that Shayna killed Ryan because he was planning to leave her. Shayna, however, claims that Ryan had pressured her into performing sexual acts and had been abusive. She also stated that her inability to orgasm with him was a significant issue in their relationship.
He slammed you into the couch, but you don't have any injuries? I don't have any injuries. I was just very frightened. He's a lot bigger than me. He's 6'3", 200 pounds. I'm 5'8", 120. And he picked me up and was carrying me out of the house. And I said, "Let me get my things at least if we're gonna break up." And he wouldn't let me get my things. And when I reached around to try to get my things, I can hear myself echoing in the background, ma'am. It's just the phone system. The phone system has got a delay. And he pushed me down from the door all the way to the couch. And when they come here, they'll see how far that is. He threw me across the room. And I was very startled. I was laying on the floor. Okay. All right. And I killed him.
Prosecutors reviewed text messages between Shayna, Ryan, and their friends, which revealed no evidence of abuse. Additionally, the crime scene showed no signs of domestic violence. This is the interrogation of Shayna, during which she exhibits very strange behavior while speaking with the detective.
And in the middle of him doing something with his arm or saying something crazy, shot him. And I thought, oh my God, what have I done? And
Shayna is about to explain why she killed Ryan after he was already wounded. She portrays herself as if she were the hero, claiming that because Ryan was on the ground twitching and clearly in pain, she killed him to end his suffering, as if it were somehow justified.
He was laying with his face on the table, like twitching. And so I knew he was going to die. a very slow and painful death. I knew he was already dead. Within the next 20 seconds. Within the next 2 minutes, I knew he was going to be dead. And he was in a lot of pain. He was twitching, he was moaning. But he was ultimately dead. And so I shot him enough times to kill him so that he wouldn't suffer at that point, which was a few more times. And I shot him twice. Thought he was completely dead, and he was laying there still, twitching and making noises. And I shot him in the head.
She starts pacing around the room, using hand gestures as she continues explaining that Ryan was going to die anyway, insisting that she did the right thing by ending his life.
Probably should have left it there, but I knew he was going to die. Mm-hmm. Or have a very deformed face. And you were concerned. And I knew, oh no, he would have died. He was already dying. He was dying. But I just walked around the table and shot him where I knew he would die immediately.
After blaming Ryan's obsession with guns for his death, she begins to walk around the room, singing.
His fast. His obsession with guns killed him. I would have never, I'm so Democrat, I would have never touched a gun in my life until I dated him. How sweet the sound that sings.
She starts recounting the events of that night, as if she were casually chatting with a friend about her day at work.
He had put his arm across the table, and there's a lamp, and he had put his arm across the table and had it in my face and was screaming at me at the top of his lungs after he had thrown me around the room, and was saying emotionally to me, I hate you. I hate everything about you for what you are and my family. And he was screaming it, and he had his hand on the table, and he wasn't completely standing up. He was like this. He was sitting, he was enough that when he went like this. Literally. That's when I knew he was dead. Or close to it, and twitching. And I let him, even though it hurt, enough of me loved him.
She begins to laugh after explaining that Ryan was vain and wanted a nose job. She says that by shooting him in the face, she gave him what he wanted.
That I couldn't stand to watch him twitch. I knew he was going to die or have a completely deformed face. He's very vain. One of our last conversations we had that was good was that he wants my best friend who's a dentist to do his veneers and wants to get a nose job. Just that kind of person. And I shot him right here. I gave him his nose job. He wanted. I broke it. I'm not your typical murderer. No, not the one that you see on.
She laughed while discussing Ryan and showed no empathy for his death. A lack of empathy is a key indicator of narcissism, which involves an inability or unwillingness to understand or care about the needs, wants, or feelings of others. This trait also makes it challenging for narcissists to take responsibility for their own actions.
And I wasn't doing anything that was mean. I was begging him to stay in the relationship and be with me because I knew that we once really loved each other. Ryan had told me that he loved me and wanted to be with me. And I guess somewhere along the way, that grew to hate. He was screaming how much he hated me. ever want to marry me if they know that I killed a boyfriend and helped. It's not funny, but the stuff he was saying to me was so abusive while he was throwing me around the room.
Once again, she laughs, focusing solely on herself as she remarks that no one will ever want to marry her because she killed her boyfriend.
If anyone will ever want to marry me if they know that I killed a boyfriend and helped. It's not funny, but the stuff he was saying to me was so abusive while he was throwing me around the room. I think in the midst of that, my love turned to hate. I remember screaming, reaching up to grab the shirt. You, how dare you mock my family? How dare you talk please stick really my mother and my family? If I don't get any serious consequences, then I could really be happy just having a career and maybe not even ever getting married. Because this is very traumatic, you know. It's very traumatic for me to live with it. I have to know that I did that for someone that I told every day, I love you.
She remains focused on herself, frequently using words like me and I. She talks about how she will never have a career or a fulfilling life, describing the situation as extremely traumatic for her to endure. A key sign of narcissism is self-centered behavior. Individuals who were excessively praised as children or who did not receive adequate discipline are more likely to develop narcissistic traits.
I think in the midst of that, my love turned to hate. I remember screaming, reaching up to grab the shirt. You, how dare you mock my family? How dare you? I didn't do anything that was mean. I was like begging him to stay in the relationship and be with me because I knew that we weren't really loving each other. You know, Ryan had told me that he loved me and wanted to be with me. And I guess somewhere along the way, that grew to hate. He was screaming how much he hated me.
Shayna was sentenced to life in prison for her murder. During the sentencing, the judge stated that her actions that evening were grossly violent and deliberately calculated to cause Ryan's death. Shayna displayed no visible emotion during the sentencing or while being escorted away by bailiff.
It appears that you've fallen in love.
Yes.
How did that happen?
I can only describe it as like a spiritual encounter that I had with another person that I met here a couple years ago that I grew to know over the years.
Years after her initial arrest, Shayna requested an interview in prison. Her main focus was to discuss her new romantic relationship and how the prison was preventing them from getting married.
I feel as if I've been retaliated against at the actual institution, at the jail, because the jailer was contacted by Richard McBee, Unique Taylor, and that he didn't want any type of retaliation. I was moved to a different cell. All of my legal documents for my court case were taken from me.
This interview provided Shayna an opportunity to express sympathy and remorse, but instead, she chose to focus on how having the trial in the same town as the murder was unfair to her.
When you were with Ryan, though, did you identify as bisexual, as lesbian? I guess I'm trying to figure out how, you've fallen in love with
I don't
Unique
believe
now.
that I would label myself as straight, bisexual, lesbian. I am someone who has fallen in love with certain people.
Towards the end of the interview, when asked if she had any remorse for Ryan's family, she quickly made it clear that she was not there to discuss that.
Have you ever had any moments of remorse or the sense of apology just to Ryan Poston's family? Not going into specifics.
I'm not here to talk about any of that. I'm here to talk about another issue at hand.